Hello everyone, welcome to Sunya IAS and welcome to this lecture. In this lecture, we are going to talk about judicial review as a concept. Now, judicial review as a concept does not have a lot of direct questions coming in the UPSC Prelims examination, but when you are finishing polity, it is your responsibility that you finish every topic, and judicial review is going to be a very small topic, right? So let's just finish it quickly. Now, how we go about these classes, you all already know that. For the ones who have joined for the first time, let me just tell you. My final goal is to make notes in such a manner, make the notes for such a manner, on A4 size sheets that you can revise them 1 week before prelims, right? The final revision notes, as you call them. So this is the goal. Now, how to achieve this goal? We achieve this goal by extracting only the information that we need for prelims examination from Laxmikant. I tell you exactly how to make notes, right? And how do we develop this knack of actually identifying what kind of questions can be asked? We see the previous year questions. When we see the previous year questions, we find out that this is the pattern on which UPSC has been asking questions. Okay. So that is there. Now, please, this one is a very small topic, so you don't really need to make notes as such. It is just something that has to be in your brain. But overall, for the classes, make sure that you are maintaining the notes very properly and you are doing the assignments that I tell you, that you go to the chapter, you finalize the chapter, and then you close the chapter till your prelims and make notes in such a manner that your entire polity notes should not be more than 30 to 40 pages. That is our goal. Okay. So with this, let's just take a quick rough idea of what judicial review actually means. See, judicial review is a constitutional power. Judicial review is a constitutional power. Why do I say constitutional power? The word judicial review is not written in the constitution anywhere, but judicial review is given in Article 13, wherein it has been said that any law which is against Part 3, which is violating Part 3 of the Indian Constitution, has to be declared null and void, right? This is judicial review. And the power of judicial review is twofold. It is exercised by the judiciary and it is twofold. It is against the legislature and it is against the executive also. So what the courts are supposed to do is that they are supposed to see whether the laws that have been made by legislature are constitutional or not. Okay. Are they constitutional or not? So for example, if I were to talk about a scheme, let's say like PM Kisan. Now PM Kisan, wherein 6,000 rupees per year to a farmer are given by the government, it might be something that is heavy on the public purse, right? But judiciary is not supposed to see that. Judiciary is supposed to see whether this PM Kisan scheme is violating any fundamental right. For example, is it violating Article 15, wherein discrimination should not be done on the basis of caste? Is the money being distributed on the basis of caste? If that is not being done, then you can go forward with this one. Judiciary is not concerned whether it is a good scheme or a bad scheme. It is only concerned whether this law or any scheme is constitutional in nature or not. Are you understanding? So that is against legislature. Against executive, it has to be seen that the implementation of a particular law or a scheme has to be constitutional, right? So while you implement it, you cannot take away the right to life, for example. If there is a health related scheme, it cannot hamper right to life of the people. So these are the implementation based. Now here, under Article 21, the terms that are written is that the right to life cannot be taken away except for procedure established by law, right? Procedure established by law. Now, procedure established by law is a doctrine which is restricting only the executive. Let's say there is a law that has said that you cannot wear a particular kind of clothes, or you cannot, any law. It does not matter whether this law is constitutional or not. All it matters is that whether this law is being implemented constitutionally or not. So initially it was procedure established by law that was written in our constitution, but by the Menaka Gandhi case, the judiciary has said that Article 21 is not just restricted to procedure established by law, it even includes due process of law. So you have to see whether a particular law has been made constitutionally or not. And that is why laws like, for example, adultery was declared null and void, because adultery was discriminating people on the basis of their sex, on the basis of gender, right? So that is supposed to be an unconstitutional law. So right now, judicial review is to be exercised not just against the executive, but also against the judiciary, so that no constitutional directions are violated. Understood? That is the case here. Now let's go for the first question. Consider the following statements regarding judicial review. Judicial review prevents the tyranny of executives. Judicial review prevents the tyranny of executives. Then second statement, judicial review limits the functioning of government and is only permissible to the extent of finding if the procedure in reaching the decision has been correctly followed, but not the decision itself. And then the concept of separation of powers is strictly adhered to in judicial review. How many of the given statements are correct? See the first statement. Judicial review prevents the tyranny of executives. Yes, absolutely. When any act or the implementation of an act is corrected by the Supreme Court, the goal is to prevent the tyranny of the executive. So this is absolutely correct. So the second statement is about the procedure established by law and due process of law. This part, judicial review limits the functioning of the government, only permissible to extend finding the procedure. This is the procedure established by law, right? But here, the second part, not the decision itself. This is due process of law. So this is wrong, because even the decision itself can be challenged under judicial review. So when a part of the statement is incorrect, we have already learned the entire statement is incorrect. The third statement, concept of separation of powers is strictly adhered? No. In fact, when judiciary is saying that one particular law is unconstitutional or null and void or whatever, it is interfering in the domain of the legislature, because legislature passed a law. Judiciary is saying that this law cannot be implemented. So it is interfering in the legislature's job. Definitely it is interfering in the legislature's job. So this one is incorrect. So only one statement is correct. I hope you understand where this is coming from. Second question, and this is last question for the day, because this particular topic is a very small topic. We don't need to give a lot of time to it. Consider the following statements regarding the classification of judicial review. Reviews of legislative actions involve ensuring that laws passed by the legislature comply with the provisions of the Constitution. Review of administrative actions is a tool for enforcing constitutional discipline over legislative decisions. And judicial review in India is limited to the higher courts like Supreme Court and the High Court. How many of the above statements are correct? See statement by statement. First statement is absolutely correct. Review of legislative actions, make sure that legislature complies with the provisions. Second statement, read it properly, that review of administrative actions is a tool for enforcing constitutional discipline over legislative decisions. No, it is for ensuring constitutional discipline over executive decisions. So that becomes incorrect. Then third statement, judicial review is limited to the higher courts. No, this is something that you can note down, that even the lower courts can say, for example, a panchayat has implemented a small tax on being from a particular caste, right? if you are from a particular caste, you have to pay this particular tax, right? Like jizya tax that used to exist earlier on the basis of religion. If this kind of a law is implemented and this comes to the lower judiciary also, lower judiciary can also say that this is a unconstitutional act, this cannot be enacted. So the third statement is incorrect. So only one statement here is correct. I hope you understand why. So that's all for this lecture, and judicial review is a very small topic. Basically, one thing I've already told you about the Article 13. So that is pretty much it. You just need to understand the concept. Now regarding this course, Revise Entire Prelims Syllabus through 3000 plus MCQs. This is a course wherein we are trying to just value your time in such a manner that you can do a very prelims oriented preparation by answering about 3000 plus MCQs and see the logic behind them, see the explanation behind these MCQs as well, so that your mind start working in such a manner that you can identify anything and everything and you clear prelims with a very good margin. And how we have structured this, we have done about 400 MCQs for modern history, then polity, geography, Indian economy, art and culture, current affairs, ancient medieval, environment, ecology, and science and tech. So we have divided it according to the weightage that UPSC Prelims gives to these subjects, and that is how we will go forward with it. So if you think that solving MCQs is going to help you in your prelims based preparation, then you can go for this course. We have kept it as affordable as is possible for us so that everyone can afford this course. And this number is there, this website is there wherein you can visit. And that's all for this particular class. Please make sure that you make very good use of your time. And thank you so much for watching. I hope you derived some value out of this class. I'll see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.